You guys, my friend Kip Davis has been a bad boy. And today, I am here to defend Christian apologist and Egyptologist David Falk against the horror, the sheer audacity of one Kip Davis. I know Dr. Falk has said some rather inappropriate things about others, including Francesca Stavrakopoulos in the past. But today, I am here to take up Dr. Falk's honor against the insidious Dr. Kill, Dr. Kip Davis. Let's have a listen. Let's lend an ear to old David Falk here and hear what he has to say about old Kip. There's no hypocrisy here, I promise. You're not going to hear that, and it's not going to be pointed out because I'm taking up for Captain Falk. Here goes.
Wear for $4.99. I wonder how Kip would react if you popcorn reviewed one of his videos. Oh, I don't think there's any need to wonder. I think it's pretty obvious how he would react. He'd just sort of go right into the ad hominem attacks. Essentially, he would just go right straight into ad hominem attacks. He would basically also use professional hedge protection. So it's going to go along some lines, something like this. He's not an expert in the field. He doesn't have his PhD in Old Testament studies. He doesn't have a voice or an opinion, and his opinion is qualified. And it'll be something like that, because that's his typical MO, is to try to create an elitism.
Excuse you, Dr. Falk. Maybe lay off the pepperoncinis. And Kip, you son of a bitch.
Yes, he does know that my credentials have some real street cred, but that won't prevent him. Knowing that my credentials have street cred won't prevent him from doing the ad hominem attacks, because as I said, that's always what he does. Is he puts up the professional hedge protection, the stay in your lane stuff, the trying to show through more personal attacks and derisionary comments that his opponents don't have, aren't qualified, and it's just the same old stuff. It's just the same old stuff.
Ah, Kip, you bastard. That's professional hedge protection. The whole stay in your lane, you're not particularly qualified in this field, you don't have any expertise in this very specialized area. That's ad hominem, that's not nice. It's not nice, Kip. And the important thing to realize is that Dr. Falk is of such character and integrity that he would never do this. He would never do it. Why can't you have the head and the heart and mind and soul that Dr. David Falk has, Kip? He would never do this. Except all those times he did it in the video that he criticized me in. Isis hovers over a complete body. Finally, and most important, she speaks the proper words and he resurrects. He retains the same body he inhabited while alive.
Okay, Bob Breyer is not a great source. He has a legitimate PhD in paleopathology, and he knows a lot about mummification. But he didn't receive a lot of training in Egyptology. So his knowledge of Egyptian religion, language, and culture can be relatively weak. I would not consider this a high-quality source.
Okay, Satan. Now, do we see what just happened there? That was adorable. Meanwhile, let's fill you guys in on Dr. Bob Breyer here. Dr. Bob Breyer is an Egyptologist, and senior research fellow at the CW Post campus of Long Island University. He earned his bachelor's degree from Hunter College and PhD in philosophy from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Professor Breyer has twice been selected as a Fulbright Scholar and has received Long Island University's David Newton Award for teaching excellence in recognition of his achievements as a lecturer. He has served as director of the National Endowment for the Humanities Egyptology Today program. So, yeah, he's kind of legit, and my citing him is therefore pretty legit concerning the resurrection of Osiris. But it's all good. What you got to do, Dr. Falk, is play it one way when you're addressing Dr. Kip Davis, and then play it the opposite way when you're going after my sources, because that's fair. That's fair and balanced. You're like the walking embodiment of Fox News. You are like a one-man, no spin zone. The integrity of you apologists is amazing.
It was the power of Ra's name that allowed Isis to return Osiris's reassembled body to... Again, Glenn Holland is not an Egyptologist. His specialty is religious studies. So I can't say if he understands the Egyptian nuance of Osiris's revivification or not. But without further information, I remain suspicious.
Yeah, something's suspicious, all right. Meanwhile, let's fill you in on the credentials of Professor Glenn S. Holland, Ph.D. Dr. Glenn S. Holland is the Bishop James Thoburn Professor of Religious Studies at Allegheny College. He earned his BA from Stanford University, his MA in Theology from the University of Oxford, and his PhD in the Bible and New Testament Studies from the Divinity School of the University of Chicago. Professor Holland is the recipient of several honors and awards, including the Thoburn Chair in Religious Studies in 1992 and the Divisional Professorship in Humanities at Allegheny College in 2003. But how dare he attempt to address something regarding ancient Egyptian religion within his religious studies paradigm and the resurrection of Osiris? How dare he? He needs to stay in his lane. Don't you agree, Dr. Falk? I knew that you would. I knew that you would. Unless it's about you.
And more recent scholarship, such as John Granger Cook's 2018 publication, Empty Tomb, Resurrection, Apotheosis, affirms that the resurrection of Osiris is the closest analogy to the resurrection of Jesus. Oh, wow. John Granger Cook, again, is not an Egyptologist. He's a New Testament scholar. Ugh. This stupidity of low-quality sources is getting painful.
Yeah, this isn't professional hedge protection at all. I see no hypocrisy here. See no evil, hear no evil. This is fair and balanced. Meanwhile, let's dig into Dr. Cook here. Let's see. He has a bachelor's from Davidson College from 1976, Master of Divinity from the Union Theological Seminary in Virginia, and a Doctor of Philosophy from Emory University from 1985, postdoctoral researcher at Emory University, and of course Professor of Religion and Philosophy at Lagrange since 1994. Achievements include he's been listed as a noteworthy religious studies educator by Marquis Who's Who. But hey, I get it. It's all part of the you got to do the flip-flopping. You got to do a little reverse engineering. Reverse. It's all part of the Lying for Jesus campaign. The whole you got to stretch and maybe use some skewed methodology when you're kind of in the corner defending fables. That's kind of what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I get it. When you're defending the indefensible, you got to cheat a little bit and be a little two-faced. So it's all fair. It's all fair. It's none of this looks really, really bad. It's a good on you. Good on you, Doc. Good on you. It's good stuff. A crucial factor in the comparison here is that despite the vivid gospel accounts of the appearances of the resurrected Jesus, he is not related to have resumed his life on earth in contemporary Judea, but to have ascended to heaven, where he was believed to live a supernatural existence. There is therefore justification for a phenomenological comparison between the deaths and resurrections of Osiris and Christ.
SGF Brandon is, again, another scholar of comparative religion, but not an Egyptologist. And perhaps more importantly, he wrote this book in 1968. So we aren't talking about current scholarship here. Brandon represents the garbage scholarship that no respectable Egyptologist would ever cite in a paper.
What on earth are you sipping on, Doc? Anyway, yeah, SGF Brandon was a scholar of comparative religions, not an Egyptologist specifically. So sure, he's out of his league there. He's not even, he has no clue what he's talking about, and he wrote this in 1968, and since then, our understanding of ancient Egyptian religion has completely transformed. Completely. So he was, clueless. Anyway, let's see here. Brandon was British Anglican priest and scholar of comparative religion who became professor of comparative religion at the University of Manchester in 1951. He was elected General Secretary of the International Association for the History of Religions in 1970. That sounds pretty prestigious to me. It sounds pretty impressive to me. But I get it. You gotta dunk on the guy because he's saying shit that you don't like, and so that's not at all hypocritical. Attacking the source rather than actually engaging in the validity of what they're actually saying. Like, don't screw around with the argument that's being posed. Attack the source, because that is logically valid. Any good logician will tell you that. Doc, you're impressing the hell out of me. You're impressing the hell out of all of us with this two-faced super spin. It's good stuff. The hypocritical spin zone relief fund is a thing that we should set up for you, and you'll be on top of the world. You're a good-looking man to begin with. I'm telling you. I think that when people appreciate your work, they're doing theology by I better not say it. I better not say it, because I don't want to look like a giant pile of shit like you do.
When you start doing theology by cup size, that's a bad start.
Anyway, here are some more garbage sources for you that just vehemently disagree with the ones that you've already criticized, Dr. Falk. Let's see here. Egyptologist Eric Hornung cites a scene from the Book of Caverns. He says, at the beginning of the upper register, Isis and Nephthys lift the body of Osiris to initiate his resurrection. That it's his body that's being lifted up and resurrected. But that's Eric Hornung. You know what I mean? He has no idea what he's talking about. And per Egyptologist Jan Osman, definitely a nobody. In Egyptian mortuary belief, Osiris was the prototype of every deceased individual. Everyone would become Osiris in death and be endowed with life by Isis. Isis was the goddess of physical restoration. Physical restoration. All her life-giving actions were aimed at the body and its vitality. with the result that the body of Osiris, restored and brought back to life, represents the entirety of the land of Egypt. That's Egyptologist Jan Osman. But again, I'm sure you'll find a way to tell us that these guys are garbage too, and where they appear to actually agree entirely with the sources that I initially used in that first video that you attacked. You can just put that up to, that's the devil. That's old Beelzebub, this old Satan doing his thing, because I saw in one of your streams that ultimately the devil's going to lose, God will reign victorious, that this is all, it's coming. It's definitely, never mind it was supposed to happen about 2,000 years ago. We missed the deadline by a long shot. I know you've got apologetic ways of trying to wiggle your way out of that problem. They're not convincing, I'm sorry. I guess in short what I'm saying is that this whole millennial kingdom on earth thing where the devil gets defeated, this is not gonna happen, Dr. Falk. I'm sorry. It's you believe a lot of antiquated bullshit, and it's really obvious, especially given all of my studies outside of just this one particular topic. I can tell you without a shred of doubt that you're dead wrong and completely deluded, and also, as we've seen here, a bit of a hypocrite. It's not a good look. But hey, this, as always, has been fun. Let's do this again sometime. Dr. Falk, I understand you're going to make another response video, more than likely. That's kind of the rumor that's going around. So I hope that you do that, because every time you go on air, things just keep getting worse for you. And I'd be lying if I said that we don't enjoy the hell out of it. It's good stuff. And it's not merely a matter of enjoying others' pain. It's more when someone is legitimately a walking pile of shit, it is good to see karma kind of do its thing. That's kind of what it is. So I hope you understand. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, support me on Patreon or Patreon, however you pronounce it. I don't give a damn. Do I look like I care? I'm from Kentuckiana. I don't know how to say anything. And as Falk has shown, I'm a total idiot. There's goodies on the Patreon. There's an online ebook. There are PDF slideshows that you can download and keep for yourself with citations and scholarly sources and primary source texts and all kinds of good stuff. You got to get on it. Support me if you can. I'd hugely appreciate it. And to all my Patreons who are supporting me now, love you. Thank you so much. I'm up to like 40 patrons, over $300 a month in support. I can't tell you guys enough how much I genuinely appreciate that. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep them coming. Till next time, this has been Derek Bennett with Atheologica. Now piss off and I'm going to bed.